But how'd you feel about that whole thing?
That was good. Very good.
Hmm.
How would you handle, can we go into money objection?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so let's say you say it's 3,800, right? Go on.
The program. Okay. Yeah. So Alex, really what the next steps would look like if you feel it's appropriate would just be to put together some sort of arrangement for the investment. From there, I'd have someone from our support team send you your onboarding, we get you in the program, get you the skills, and then you'd begin making your first trades. Would that be a good next step, or how would you like to do from? How would you like to proceed from here?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit more than expected,
Okay.
but I'll definitely, yeah, think about it. Give me a day or two.
Yeah, that's not a problem, man. Help me understand. Like, is there anything like logistical about the program? Well, help me understand. Like money aside. Like, let's say you had the funds. Do you feel like this would be the answer for you?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, training.
Why do you feel like it would, though?
Yeah, I need someone like him to help me with, trading, right?
Okay. Yeah, and so him getting your help with trading, like how do you feel like his help specifically would actually allow you to develop your trades and grow that portfolio?
Well, I'll know what to do in the market.
Okay. And what happens if you don't actually get the help on this and you continue making trades the way you have?
No, that's what I'm looking for. Way.
Yeah, but like what happens though if you, and I understand that, but like if you didn't get the help, like what would happen then?
Well, it'll be trial and error.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
are you willing to settle for that?
no, definitely not.
Okay. Well, ultimately, like I think that's why we're here today. So I guess what are some ways that we could come up with the funding so you can get the skills and not have to do trial and error with your trades?
Yeah, I mean it's 3,800, right? So it's a little bit more than I was expecting. Um, so
Yeah.
I'll need to figure out a way. Yeah.
And I can appreciate, I can really appreciate that like money might be a concern because ironically, that's why we're here, right? Is to kind of teach you the skills so you can make more money to not only afford this, but just really anything you want. So I totally get it. Like we run into this all the time. But the 3,800 itself, that's really only expensive until it's not, right? Because it's only expensive because of the current situation you're in, which is working sales and still kind of trading time for money. If you had it kind of passively, let's say you had like 10,000 a month coming in, like would it be like a big choice for you?
Right. I mean, this is what I make a month, right? So it's kind of
Yeah.
big deal, That's like my whole paycheck.
Yeah, that's not a problem then. And really, like I'd say, we really love working with people who are in sort of similar circumstances, simply because there's such a transition that happens there, in mindset, right? From as someone who's working in their business and active, like making active income, as to someone who's actually making passive income. And so naturally, right, like with passive income, if you place an investment in a trade or something like that, like it compounds over time, right?
Hmm.
And so the most important thing is, right, how do you park as much down as quickly as possible so that compounds? And so like over 5, 10 years, difference between 500 and 100 in certain some investments might be the difference between 1 million and 500,000, you know what I mean, over the same period of time. So like for you, I'm curious, like when you see people who are actually succeeding in trading and doing option stuff, like what sort of traits do you feel like they embody that allows them to be successful in that arena and actually kick their jobs and live that trading lifestyle?
Well, they followed the advice. They made it happen.
Well, why would they do that though? Like how do you feel like that actually helps them?
Well, that's how they get the results, right?
Yeah. And what about like risk tolerance and like ability to kind of like double down on themselves?
Well, they had the knowledge to do risk, right? To manage the risk as well,
Yeah.
which is
So it
important.
started, but the most important thing you say there though is it all starts with what before the confidence and all that. It starts with having the right knowledge, the right skills. And so for you, like what do you feel like is missing for you to actually begin having the success in trading that you want to have?
Yeah, like I mentioned, I need the help because I haven't even done it before, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think this is what I want to do. It's just, yeah, I need to look up my finances, check the money,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
then, yeah, I'll make a
Well,
decision.
if there was a way for us to help you kind of break up the financing or find something that would work with you. Is that something you feel like might help?
Yeah, I mean, how much would it be?
Yeah. So what we've seen some people do is, have you ever considered like, leveraging other people's money kind of in the short term and then just paying it back as you get consistent returns from your trades?
Yeah, I mean, my credit cards are pretty maxed at the moment.
Okay. Well, as far as financing, I mean, there's certainly some things we could do, but I just want to have like an honest conversation with you about like where you're at to see if there's something we could do to help. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet, man. So like, just roughly, you said your credit cards are maxed. What's your credit score at?
About 600 something.
That's 600. Okay. And how much do you have parked away in savings or in other investments at the moment?
Um, I got about 70K in stocks.
70K in stocks. Okay. And that's all, is that like tied down with like 60-day like holds or anything like that? Or is that something that's, potentially you could make liquid?
No, that's for like just stocks, right? Investing.
Okay. So you've got 70K like in stock, like in the market?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you feel like, it would make sense for you to maybe like exit some of those stocks so that way you can get the knowledge to find better investments so you can get a good return?
Yeah, I mean, those stocks are a bit down at the moment, so I want them to like, I expect it going up.
Yeah,
So I
but
wouldn't
that's
want to
not a
waste that
problem
money.
though. But help me understand like how they're going to go up if like with what you're doing at the moment, like the knowledge and skills you have, that's what allowed you to pick those stocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
how's their performance been so far?
I mean, this year has been a bit down, so the whole
Right.
market.
Right.
Um,
So like if you had the right skills though, right? Because an intelligent investor knows how to ride the market's ups and downs, right? Because that's what separates the good investors from the bad ones. So if you actually had the right skills at the start of the year, like how different do you feel like your portfolio would be looking at the moment?
well, I think they're all gonna like because it's been down this first half. I expect it to go up. So
Yeah. Yeah. But and I'm with you on that. And I mean, I'm not challenging your knowledge that you already have around stocks. But the point is, like, if you had the right skills, how much better do you think your returns could have been over that same time horizon?
oh, you mean with stocks or options? Because stocks is just buy and hold long term.
Both.
Yeah. If I did options, yeah, definitely. If I did it
Okay.
6 months ago, yeah.
So how much longer do you want to like wait for the stocks to like turn around and just let like how much longer do you want to let like the market kind of dictate your results as opposed to getting the skills so you can do something yourself? Like what's really riskier? You hoping the economy is going to do what you want, or you actually like getting the skills and being proactive and getting the returns? What's riskier?
Yeah, definitely.
Which
Um,
one?
yeah, definitely the stocks.
Yeah. So do you think it'd be worth, maybe making a change in your investment strategy, giving yourself the right skills and then reinvesting that in something that you have more control over?
Yeah, possibly.
Well, why do you feel like it would be a good choice though?
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, but I don't typically make decisions right away. I
No,
typically
no,
take time to think
I'm
about it.
not even questioning the decision there, but why do you feel like it'd be a good choice for you though to
Hmm.
actually make a change in how you're investing? Right? Because before doing anything, right, I have to be clear that you're actually going to follow the advice that's going to be given so you can get the returns that you want. Because if you come in and fall back on those old habits, what's
Hmm.
going to happen? Right? We're dead before we begin. So before even looking at that, like, are you actually wanting to make a change in how you're investing so you can get the types of returns that your stocks haven't produced so far?
Yeah,
Why though?
yeah, like I mentioned, because how it even started, right? Options, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So, like, let's say you started options and you were making that 1,000 a week, like when you started in stocks. Like, I mean, how long have you really been wanting to get started in options and getting serious returns going?
yeah, man, I just came across the channel about 3 weeks ago. So
Yeah, but even before that, like, was options something that came in the last 3 weeks, or has it been something you've been considering longer?
yeah, about a month it's been.
Yeah. So you've been thinking about it for a while, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So how much longer do you want to keep thinking about it and waiting for your stocks in the market to go the right way? Like how much longer do you want to keep doing that?
No, not much longer.
Well, why not though? Because
Um,
you could, like, you can keep kicking the can down this, perfect market cycle, be one of those guys that, buys on the up wave as opposed to like planning stuff. Like, why do you actually want to do something about that?
yeah, like I said, I want to change my situation.
Okay.
Um,
Well, why now though? Like, why don't you want to actually wait for a market upcycle and continue doing this way you've been trading?
well, I could, right? But if it's quicker, why not do it that way?
Well, you tell me. You've got a fork in the road, right? You can
Mm-hmm.
be that intelligent investor or that kind of investor you want to be, who backs himself and begins putting himself like in good trades as quickly as possible so that compounds. Or you can continue to think like a retail investor and just kind of, hope things work out. And it does. But what's
Mm-hmm.
riskier, right? For you to try to be that one out of 1,000 Wall Street bets, or you actually be the guy who has the strategy that works for certain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely want to do it, but I just need to speak with my partner as well, make sure she's on board.
That's not a problem, man. And help me understand, like, let's say your partner was here and she was giving you like the thumbs up. Pete, I don't want to assume anything, but they were giving you the thumbs up. Would you do it?
Yeah.
Okay. And is your partner supportive of you actually getting the skills so you can make money passively so you don't have to spend time, doing things and other stuff?
Yeah, I think she would be supportive, but I just want to run it by because I always make decisions
Oh,
with
and
her.
I'm with you, right? If everything, like anybody who's going to be joining you in this journey, like I'm glad you have a good support network because that's really what's like it's for, right? Like when you talk about having that more time to travel, she's going to be a part of it. She should probably know what's like damn well what's going on in the investment half. So, but I'm curious though, like, why do you think she'd actually be supportive of you getting the skills? Like, what's in it for her if this works out?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have more time with her, right? At home, make more money.
Yeah. So, like, in going to her, is it more to just kind of let her know that this is something like you might be doing, or is it to actually get her permission around you getting the skills?
Um, a little bit both, just to see what her thoughts are.
Yeah,
It's both our money, right? So just want to check in with her first.
yeah, then that makes sense. But what happens if you go to her and she says, Alex, you know, this all sounds good. I don't want you to do it. I want you to keep being the guy behind the phone, and I want you to let our stock portfolio kind of go with the market. Like, what happens then?
I don't think she would because she wants me.
Yeah.
No,
But to
I don't
play
think she
devil's
would.
advocate, like, what if she did, though?
No, if she did, then no, I need to figure out why she would do that because she is supportive.
Yeah. But what if she did, though? Like, what if you go to her and you ask her, you said it's a little bit about both, and she says, Alex, I don't want you to do it. What do you do then?
Oh yeah, I'll have to figure out a way.
Okay. Think you'd maybe do it regardless?
Possibly, yeah.
Well, why would you though? Because she is your partner.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I have to check, right? Because
Yeah. But either
yeah,
way, like if she said no, like how would you actually get that passive income if you didn't have the skills to make trades?
well,
Like,
we'll have to find a way to get the skills. So maybe research more,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. Right. And that makes sense, but like how much longer though? Because you've been researching for a while, like you've been thinking about this for a month. I mean, it comes back to like how much more time do you want to spend researching and like putting together the perfect strategy as opposed to making investments that could be compounding?
Oh no, not much longer for
Okay.
sure.
So what we could do, Alks, and we've been in similar situations, is we could just take a deposit towards the program today, and really what that would just serve as like a commitment to you actually doing something. And I'll explain what I mean by that, right? So that way, like when you go to your partner, you can still talk to her. If you want to back out, you can back out, but really you're just respecting her enough in the decision making process to say, hey, this is something I'm going to be doing, but I know that this is going to affect both of us and I want to include you in this conversation. And so if she says no, man, you're free to go. But either way, like you're actually doing something to put yourself in the best position possible so that when your head hits the pillow today, you're actually taking steps towards getting the information you need so you can begin making better trades that are going to pay off and get you that passive income. Is that
I
something you
mean,
might be open
yeah, I
to?
mean, I'm gonna speak with her tonight.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna pay the whole thing. So
Okay.
would that be appropriate if, let's say, tomorrow we can? I can give you a call back and do that.
Yeah. And we could do it tomorrow. We could do it next week. We could do it next month. We could do it when COVID ends. We could do it when the market at the tail end of the market crash. But really, man, like what kind of coach would I be who's going to actually help you make trades to like let you fall back into sort of the old ways of thinking that have prevented you from getting the results thus far? You know what I mean? Like when you talk about the accountability and support, it starts right here with the mindset, right? And you actually want to get results with this, right?
Yeah.
And I can appreciate that you need to speak with your partner. I'm thinking you should. But what do you think would happen if you left this call today, not having done anything, and kind of went back to right where you were?
No, I'm gonna do it. I just need to
Okay.
let her know first, though.
Well, let's say, the tables turned and she had a program that she wanted to do that was going to teach you how to make more money. Would you be supportive of her?
Depending on what it was and how it worked. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but if
if it
she
made
came to
sense.
you with like that
Yeah,
nth degree of conviction and saying like, Alex, I think this is going to work and it's gonna give us time freedom, do you think you'd support her in doing that?
yeah. I mean, if the money was made sense and all that, yeah.
Yeah. So then why won't you support you? Because if
Uh,
you're not going to back you, who is?
no, I think she will support me, but I just want to, it's out of respect, like run it by her first
Yeah, and
before
I,
like
I
making a
totally
decision.
get that. I totally get that. But it's not about like the commitment itself. It's more about the congruence between what you're doing now and the type of investor you want to be, right? Because like let's say you're good at options trading and stuff like that, and you're actually like you've worked your way up the ranks. That type of investor, when they see a good stock pick or a good option, because options are dependent upon time, because good options go quick. Options, the market turns really quickly, right?
Yeah.
That sort of way of thinking where like you're going to have to go consult your partner, your executive team, go check your spreadsheets, like what sort of effect do you feel like that way of thinking is going to have on your ability to make the kind of trades you need to make that are going to get you the returns you haven't gotten before?
On the trades?
Yeah. Like let's say you find a hot options pick, you've got to go consult your partner, your brother, your team, and four
No,
other
no,
people.
that definitely not like that. No, I mean,
Yeah,
I
but
would
no, but
definitely do it.
let's say you did do it though, because right now that's the same parallel we're running in, where you've got something that I think we both feel like would actually help you getting the skills, and I want to help you get the skills, right?
Well, the difference is I would be in the program, so I would follow all the advice.
Yeah, but you're not in the program yet. And as far as following the advice, and I don't mean this to offend you, but this is where it starts. And like I want to advise you to actually do something about this and go speak with your partner, and you're free to go. But if this is how the relationship begins, how do you think it's going to carry out? Like, what kind of program would we be to not hold you accountable to doing all that you need to do to make sure you're making the right kind of stock picks that are going to get you those incredible returns? Because the market moves quick. Sure, you could start tomorrow. Sure, you could start next week, but the good trades are going to be gone by then. The best trade is the one you've made and are waiting to compound and let it cash out, not the one that you're thinking about making. Because the difference between starting a trade, 1 week in and 2 weeks in could be the difference between $1,000 and $10,000. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's more about like the way of thinking, because we all make decisions based off our current perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the same decision making process, like that's brought you here to this call and maybe wanting a change, like on a scale of 1 to 10, one being, maybe wanting to make a change in how you're making investments and going about being an investor, and 10 being having those goals we talked about, crossing the 10,000 a month. On a scale of 1 to 10, your way of investing and way of thinking around investing, like 1 to 10, how close do you feel like that is to getting you to those goals we talked about?
Yeah, like a 4.
Okay, and how much longer do you want that mentality around investing to dictate like your life and your results moving forward?
Well, the thing is, I've always made decisions like this, so it's
Yeah,
kind
but
of
making decisions like this is what's gotten you the results that you have. So how much longer do you want to keep make decisions as what's brought you to be a 4 out of 10? Like how much longer do you want that decision making process to dictate your life and your results moving forward?
but I haven't started options before, so it's like this is the first
Yeah,
time reaching out.
yeah. But why haven't you started options before?
Well, because I was just in stocks.
Yeah,
So
because that's the perspective you have, and that's how you see investments, and that's how you make decisions as an investor, right?
mhm.
And
Yeah,
so,
I didn't know about options before. Yeah.
but the beautiful part about what we do, and this is why like this is why I love this job personally, is there's such a different way of thinking and acting that comes with options. Because the returns are there, but you have to act quicker to get them. Because
Mm-hmm.
options are a lot more volatile than a mutual fund,
Mm-hmm.
right? So for you to actually succeed as an option trader, Alex, what sort of traits do you feel like you would actually have to embody so that way you're going to be successful in this?
Well, take action.
Why do you feel like that's something you have to embody?
Um, well, that's what Henry teaches, right? Take action. You
Yeah,
gotta.
yeah. And so for you, like at the moment, what sort of limiting beliefs or ways of thinking around investing, like what sort of limiting mindsets do you feel like you have to let go of that have prevented you from getting the kinds of returns you've wanted?
I'm not sure.
What if you knew?
I don't know.
Well, what if you thought about it?
I don't have limiting beliefs. I don't think.
You don't think?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's prevented you from doing options?
Well, not having the training, right? Because if I
Yeah.
do it myself, right, I'm
And you've,
gambling.
yeah. And so, and so when it comes to actually getting yourself the skills, like, do you feel like you've actually been in a position to where you've been presented the skills in the past? At
No,
least the choice to get them?
no,
Okay. Well, coming back to the perspective stuff, like the way that you think around investing as a whole, that's led you to be a 4 out of 10. Do you want that to determine your results in investing moving forward?
no.
Why not?
Well, I don't want to stay at 4.
Right. But you could. Stocks works. I know a lot of people that keep their money in mutual funds and make that good 2.5% a year, right, for the rest of the time. You could be the richest man, when you're 376 years old, but I don't know if you
Mm-hmm.
live that long, right? So, like, why do you actually want to do something about that and not let that dictate your results?
Yeah, like I said, the weekly income. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. So, what decisions do you feel like you need to begin making so that you can become that successful and options trader and leave sort of that stocks mindset behind?
Well, I need to learn the skills.
So, what decision do you feel like you could make today to put yourself in the best position possible to make the skills? Because ultimately, like, who's responsible for you getting the results with trading, right? Who actually has to look at that screen, see the option, and make the trade?
No, that's me.
I do. Yeah, you do. And what
Yeah.
happens if you see that good choice and you hesitate?
Yeah, then you won't make the trade, right?
Yeah. So, how important is it for you to actually leave that stocks mindset behind, embody that options version of you that's the actions taker and makes those quick trades and takes responsibility for his actions in his portfolio? Like, how much longer do you want to wait to become that Alks?
No, I don't. I don't want to.
Why not?
Um, yeah. Well, like I said, I want to do something sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Sooner rather than later or now, right? Because sooner always expands. Everybody wants to do something sooner. Everybody wants to get rich quicker. Everyone wants to make more money sooner. Everyone wants better trades sooner, right? But the difference between those who want it sooner and those who have it now is action, right? So are you a sooner kind of guy or are you a now kind of guy?
No, definitely now.
All right. So with that, you've got a fork in the road. What do you want to do from here?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
God fucking damn, I hate you. I hate you with a
That that was
passion, Alex.
that was good, man.
Can I
How did
get
you?
that? Can I get that recording?
Of course, 100%. I tried to make it hard, but yeah, you
That
kept
was
going.
brutal. That was brutal, but I felt like I was still in the seat the whole time. I never really felt
Yeah.
like I was out of it.
How did you keep going? You didn't run out of things to say.
I don't know. I really don't know personally. I hit like a switch recently in objection handling and sales as a whole that like I
Mm,
feel like I've hit another level personally. Um, but that whole identity thing that I talked about there in objection handling, I will do that before I deal criteria and solution awareness and anchor that really strongly up high. Because when you do it in objection handling, it feels like a tactic if you don't do it right. And so you
mm.
can build up a ton of resistance. So what I'll do in my scripting is I'll do that whole identity, what traits you need to have, what you need to let go of before I deal criteria, anchor that up there. And then that gives me all the leeway in objection handling. Cool, man. And that makes sense because you're still thinking as a retail investor, right? That guy who goes, checks Wall Street bets, speaks with his wife, asks his uncle, asks his cousin before they make a trade, right? You're not thinking as that guy who has the skills and runs off his intuition, because that would be the kill shot earlier on. Um, but I had to build that in objection handling to then kind of go back at the commitment again.
So you put the frame early on, right?
Put the frame way earlier on because that gives me, because objection handling, like Matt says, it's time and intensity. And the thing I lack, the thing I struggle with a lot is intensity, but I can keep the time going. And if you don't bring the
Yeah.
intensity up, you won't get it close. So I'll anchor that earlier on. So that way I don't have to use a whole lot of time. And the intensity builds because the identity stuff is really like, it's an internal thing that pushes people.
So what type of frame do you use again?
Yeah, so let's do, let's take it from the top, cut the recording.
Yeah.